Do you want to know the keys to success? The biblical secrets to success? Stay tuned. My name is Karen Boyd. I am the Savvy Reader, back with another great read from my bookshelf, The 25 Laws of Success, The Biblical Secrets. The subtitle is Powerful Principles to Transform Your Career and Business. This book is written by William Douglas and Rubens. I can't pronounce that name, so I'm just going to leave the link in the description box below to the book itself. I am not the author of this book. It's a book I wanted to share with my YouTube viewers from my bookshelf. So let's dive right into this. I'm going to start with the introduction. Last week we talked about your why. Why do we do what we do? Is success based on others' measurements of success or your own? And we determined that we should measure success on our own terms, not others. So this book kind of goes hand in hand with that. The introduction. What does professional success have to do with the Bible? The Bible is the greatest manual on professional success ever written. Although it is many centuries old, the Bible remains relevant today and shows you the path to success in the job market and in business management, regardless of whether you are religious or not. The 25 biblical laws of success was written to share this knowledge with you. The Bible's teachings have been confirmed by the experience of several respected professionals who built successful careers based on biblical principles, laws, and values. Professionals, managers, and employees can draw on biblical lessons to attain excellence, credibility, and professional achievements. The laws of the Bible are like keys. They work for everyone. If you use the right key, the safe opens. The laws you will learn in this book are keys that will open to you the doors to above average results and success. I'm going to jump to the first law of success. We won't read the entire introduction. The first one is the law of opportunity. And the scripture reference, your Father in heaven causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Matthew 5:44 through 45. The law of opportunity says that everyone at some point in his or her lifetime will have an opportunity to get ahead in life. This means that even though we are affected by our social and economic background, access to education, culture, and family development, we can all rewrite our stories. If we are satisfied with our lives, then there is no need to change. But if we aren't, while we are alive, we will have the opportunity to change course. This spiritual law does not promise that all the opportunities will be the same, but that everyone will have a fair share of them. We can assume that everyone will have the same sorts of opportunities. Unfortunately, it is not as simple as choosing to be rich and successful. These accomplishments depend on a number of circumstances, some that are the result of our personal choices and others that are outside of our control. However, no matter what, there is always something we can do to move forward towards success. Happiness, as many say, is not a matter of circumstances, but of how you deal with the circumstances you are given. In life, you will be called to react to a number of things. Some are foreseeable, while others are unpredictable. The best you can do is learn how to seize the opportunities. Hence, your success doesn't depend on the number of chances you get, but on the ones you take. Stay in action. That's just a little note for myself. It is useless to compare yourself with others in terms of how lucky or unfortunate you are. That won't change a thing. We all have to play the hand we are dealt in life. You must move from where you are to where you want to be. For that, you have to be willing to pay the price and expend the time and the effort necessary to get there. King Solomon is widely regarded as the wisest man who ever lived. The Bible says that God granted Solomon a wise and discerning heart so that there will never have been anyone like you, nor will there ever be. 1 Kings 3:12. In Solomon's biblical book of Ecclesiastes, he writes, all share a common destiny, the righteous and the wicked, the good and the bad, the clean and the unclean, those who offer sacrifices and those who do not. As it is with the good, so with the sinful. As it is with those who take oaths, so with those who are afraid to take them. Exciting and mysterious, but always surprising things happen to everyone in life. The strongest doesn't always win. The cleverest doesn't always become rich. Again, Solomon says, the race is not to the swift or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise or wealth to the brilliant or favor to the learned. But time and chance happen to them all. Ecclesiastes 9:11. We can observe the Solomon statement is true. Time and opportunity come to all. Whoever wins the race wins the medal. To the victor go the spoils. Therefore, success will come to those who, when their own time and chance happen, make the most of their opportunities. Jesus also spoke of the law of opportunity. He illustrated this spiritual law through the following story. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. That's in Matthew 7:24 through 27. The rain, the floods, and the winds affect everyone, but some have sound foundations and structures, and others do not. Some roll their sleeves up and drill in stone, while others prefer the ease of building on sand. This is a product of the law of sowing, which says that we reap what we sow, as we are going to see later. Some lay solid foundations and they remain secure. Yet the law of opportunity was also in effect. Since all had the chance to build, the rain fell on all of them. These teachings of Solomon and Jesus warn us that bad weather, crisis, calamities, opportunities, and changes in scenario affect everyone. That is the law of opportunity. That's the first law. And for the sake of time in this video, not to have it be very long, we're going to go to the second law. And that is the law of wisdom. Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. That's in Proverbs 3:13 through 15. Wisdom is the foundation on which success is achieved. Some call it organizational, strategic, or financial intelligence when choosing what you want and how to get there. But when we follow the law of wisdom, we can choose which seeds to sow and establish the right causes in order to enjoy the desired results. We are not talking about intelligence as in the ability to deal with geometrical abstractions, mathematical calculations, or a memory test, but as the capacity to adapt while searching for happiness. The intelligence we are talking about is synonymous with wisdom, which is to know what, when, and how to do something and why it is worth doing. There are people who are very intelligent with a high IQ and a prodigious capacity for reasoning and memory, but who lack wisdom for living. In this context, we are talking about not only so-called emotional intelligence, but also a whole set of knowledge and abilities. This greater intelligence, synonymous with wisdom, is the result of a combination of factors. One doesn't have to be born a genius. The means to happiness and success are readily available to us all, depending on our choices. You can become wise. All it takes is the desire to do so and the willingness to pay the price of obtaining knowledge and practicing intelligence. Proverbs 3:13-15 reminds us that the best investment is not in gold or silver, but in wisdom. After all, as another passage in Proverbs tells us, by wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. The wise prevail through great power, and those who have knowledge muster their strength. Surely you need guidance to wage war, and victory is won through many advisors. Wisdom should be a constant in everyone's life and involves 3 degrees of levels. The first degree of wisdom is having wisdom in general, the necessary knowledge, good sense, and information to make the right choices and have the right attitudes in life. The second degree of wisdom is a professional competence relating specifically to knowledge of how to work, which requires intelligence and skill. The third degree of wisdom involves in-depth knowledge at the intimate level of the necessary areas and people required for success. That is the second law of success. And we're going to jump to the next one, the law of vision, number 3. Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. Habakkuk 2:2. Strategic planning in any company begins with the company's vision. We definitely know that to be true. The vision is where the company sees itself in the future, where it wants to be and how it wants to be known. The law of vision tells you that you need to be clear about what you want in life. What is your vision? What do you live for? Where do you want to go? How do you want to be known? It's your choice. You might change your mind later, but you must define these concepts to be able to move forward. Perhaps you have already dealt with strategic planning on your day-to-day job, but what about your life? Have you analyzed what your personal vision is? Have you studied your strengths and weaknesses? What about the opportunities and threats ahead of you? Now we're talking about the SWOT analysis. And we're going to go back to the book on last week, that the reading on last week was Your Why. This book goes hand in hand with that. Again, I am not the author of this book. Let's continue. Some like to call their personal vision a dream. You can call it what you like. Vision, dream, goal, objective, or purpose. The important thing is to know what you are looking for. Without purpose, there will be no progress. You need to have wishes, dreams, and plans. If you want your vision to come true, you need to lay this foundation for success. Once we establish our vision, we are able to set our priorities in order to direct our efforts. There are a number of different kinds of success: personal, spiritual, social, family, and financial success. Each one has its own place and importance. That is why achieving a reasonable and balanced success in each area accounts for our idea of prosperity. Yes, you can enjoy success in several different areas. It might not be easy, but it is definitely possible. However, you need to know where you are going before you start walking. Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, said, "Better a small serving of vegetables with love than a fattened calf with hatred." Proverbs 15:17. This statement reveals that money, although it has its uses, is not the sole measure of success. Oh, Lord, I'm going to read that again. This statement reveals that money, although it has its uses, is not the sole measure of success. I don't know why when we get some money, we go buy a new car or material things, I'm going to say, and we measure that as being a success, which goes back to your why. You cannot measure your success based on someone else's measurements of success, because we all look at success and prosperity different. And it does not always surround material things. There's nothing wrong with material things, but it's not the way to measure success. That's just my 2.5 cents on that. Yes, you can enjoy success in several different areas. It might not be easy, but it is definitely possible. What defines success for you? How do you approach success? Is it a good thing? Is it your priority? How do you think you can achieve success? What means have you been using or do you intend to use in order to achieve success? How well do you handle money? When considering your vision, it is worthwhile having an answer to these questions. Regardless of your concept of success, however, there is one thing that is certain: success will not be achieved without a considerable degree of effort and a willingness to take risks. Fortunately, success and failure are not labels to use on people, but only on situations. Success and failure are two sides of the same coin, a picture of the results of a certain moment, consequences of a given set of choices and circumstances from the past. New mental and behavioral choices can change your reality. It's all a matter of cause and effect, or, in Jesus' words, sowing and reaping, as we will discuss later. That was laws concerning wisdom. Let's read a little bit of the next one, and for the sake of time, we will call it quits. The law of focus. I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. 1 Corinthians 9:26. Your vision is a snapshot of the future, but to get there, you need to stay focused. Focus, focus, focus. Focus is such a huge thing. You know how sometimes when you are on a path, when you set your goals and you move forward with those goals, it seems like every type of distraction comes in. Anything to take you off the path of achieving those goals. That is so important. That is why remaining focused is so important. That is such a huge key. We're on the law of focus, number 4. Let's continue. What you focus on, what you pay attention to, expands as you move closer to your vision. Jesus said that where someone deposits what is most important to them, that is where their heart will be. And of course, your heart is the field in which you will advance. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Luke 12:34. Instead of thinking about the gap that currently separates you from your goals, focus on a shift in performance. If you follow the biblical laws of success that you are learning in this book, you will be closer to achieving what you desire. Remember that time goes by regardless. Make sure you develop along with it. In a world that doesn't stop, where change is the only constant, if you stand still, you will be left behind. So you have to keep moving. One of the ways to develop your focus is to establish daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly plans. Set them in your mind and then write them down on paper, on your computer, tablet, or your phone. Write out where you want to be next year, in 5 years, and in 10 or 20 years. Studies show that written goals are easier to achieve than those we keep only in our minds. That is a fact. That is also biblical, that, write the vision and make it plain. You definitely want to write down what your plans are. That's the reason why when you go in for a business loan or a partner in business, there's a need to have a business plan. You've written it down and you've made it plain where you're headed. That's really key. Write it down. One suggestion is to make a daily to-do list, even for minor things. When you complete a task, place a check mark beside it or draw a line through it. This gives you a feeling of mission accomplished. When things on your list don't get done or when you are unable to complete a task, review and revise your plans. That's exactly right. Review and revise. Don't fall off. Don't feel like you failed. Try again. All you need to do is start over. With whatever you wrote down, you just go back and you revise your plan and you take it from there. You don't have to get off task because you didn't make it or complete that plan that day, because you can always go back to it. You just pick back up the next day. Okay, that's just my 2.5 cents. Let's continue. Decide whether a particular task is achievable. Checklists are great for everything from groceries to school supplies to what to pack in your suitcase before a trip. Don't get disheartened if you can't do everything on your list. I'm going to stop there and say celebrate the small things. Whatever it is. Celebrate. Move on to the next plan or achievement or goal. And keep moving forward. That's the key to always be and stay in action. So we read from my bookshelf the 25 biblical laws of success. Powerful principles to transform your career and business. The link to this book from Amazon is in the description box. This video is not sponsored. And again, I am not the author of this book. It is another great read from my bookshelf. I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more insights, for more readings, for more great books from my bookshelf. And if you want to get into a in-depth discussion about the books that I am reading, first off, you want to purchase them if they're still available online, which this one is. And then the other thing is that you can join my community, and that link is also available here on the channel, The Savvy Reader. I have enjoyed reading today's book and look forward to seeing you next week. My name is Karen Boyd, the Savvy Reader. Stay in action.